Today we're going to be talking about the African diaspora in Turkey. From World War I pilots to powerful officials in the Sultan's court, Turkey is a gold mine of incredible Black history. So let's take a look. My name's Faida and welcome to Freedom is Mine, where we talk about Black history, culture and contribution from all around the world. Today we'll be looking at Black history in Turkey, one of my favourite countries to explore this topic. Before we get started, please do consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and following us on Instagram at Freedom is Mine Official. It's free and helps us teach our amazing history to more people. And if you want to learn even more, then check out our fully illustrated book, the Afro Encyclopedia, where we learn about Black history from 100 countries around the world. The link is in the description below. And without further ado, let's talk about Turkey. There are no official statistics on the size of the Afro-Turkish population today, though a credible estimate is around 20,000 people. They are largely descended from enslaved Africans brought to Turkey during the Ottoman Empire. The majority are Muslim and live in the region of Izmir on the Aegean coast. There are also several thousand African migrants living in Turkey, who are categorized distinctly from the local Afro-Turkish population. From as early as the 16th century, enslaved Africans were trafficked to West Anatolia from Ethiopia, Niger, Libya, Kenya and Sudan. During the Ottoman Empire, enslaved Africans largely worked on farms, in cotton fields and processing tobacco. This explains their modern-day presence on the Aegean coast, where cotton production is high. They were also made eunuchs and janissaries, or elite royal guards, guarding the harem of the royal family. Although they were technically enslaved, Black eunuchs in Turkish society were sometimes granted a relatively high amount of political power and authority. The highest position a eunuch could ascend to was the position of Kizlar Aga, who was responsible for guarding the imperial harem of the Ottoman sultans in Constantinople. The Kizlar Aga held a great deal of political influence, and it was a position usually held by an African man, often referred to as the chief Black eunuch. Another example of an enslaved African who rose through the ranks was Mullah Ali, a prominent Ottoman scholar. In 1857, the Ottoman government passed legislation effectively banning the African slave trade, although in practice it continued until the early 20th century. Many formerly enslaved Africans settled in Izmir, and the state provided housing for their communities. By the time the modern Turkish Republic was founded in 1923, the trafficking of enslaved Africans was well and truly over. However, the longevity and the pervasiveness of the slave trade in the Ottoman Empire meant that perceptions of Afro-Turkish people as socially inferior were still deeply ingrained. There was another influx of Afro-Turkish people in 1924 following the Lausanne Treaty. The Turkish Republic negotiated an enforced population exchange between the Turkish Greek Orthodox community and the Muslims in Crete, some of whom were Black and settled in Izmir. One of the most remarkable Afro-Turkish people from history is Ahmet Ali Çelik'ten, an Afro-Turkish fighter pilot. Born in 1883, he became a member of the Ottoman Air Force in 1914 and served in the First World War. This made him one of the first Black pilots in aviation history. Nowadays, Afro-Turkish people have completely assimilated into Turkish society, speaking local dialects and wearing traditional Turkish clothes. Almost all African cultural and linguistic influences have been lost. Although the Afro-Turkish community remains relatively overlooked in wider Turkish society, huge strides were made in 2006 by the late Afro-Turkish writer, activist and community leader Mustafa Opak. He founded the African Solidarity and Cooperation Association. This led to a revival in Afro-Turkish culture, in particular the Dana Bayrami Festival, an Afro-Turkish festival that dates back to the 1920s. It represents families separated by slavery being reunited and sacrificing a bull in celebration. The organization has revived a sense of pride amongst the Afro-Turkish community, who had previously been culturally estranged from their African heritage. Over the years, The Black community in Turkey has relied largely on oral testimony to preserve their histories, which have been marginalised in Turkish history books. However, efforts are increasingly being made to acknowledge their history and contribution. Protests were held in Turkey in June of 2020 in solidarity with the global Black Lives Matter movement following the murder of George Floyd. They were held outside Trump Towers in Istanbul, as well as the city's US consulate. In addition to Ahmet Ali Çelik'ten, notable Afro-Turkish people include Vahap Usultay, who in 1927 became the first black player in Turkey's national football team, and Esmeray, who was a popular singer in Turkey during the 1970s. Safiye Ayla was a famous singer of Turkish classical music. Of particular note is Zenci Musa, known in English as Black Musa. He was a special forces agent from Crete who fought for the Ottoman Empire in a number of wars, including the First World War. That's it from me today. If you like that, then why not take a look at the other videos on our channel? And of course, you can always show us some love by liking, subscribing, and following us on Instagram at FreedomIsMineOfficial. If you're interested in purchasing our book, the Afro Encyclopedia, then click the link in the description below. And I'll see you in the next video. Ashe.
Freedom.